Imagine this. You've been working hard on a project for months. You're dedicated, you're loyal, and then one day, BM, your coworkers are told at 4 p.m. that they're done. No warning, no respect. Just pack your things and go. And the worst part? Your boss looks you straight in the eye and proudly says, "That's why we hire contractors, so we can cut them loose whenever we want." Well, let's just say he learned the hard way that disrespecting people has consequences. If you've ever been treated unfairly at work, or if you've dreamed about watching karma slap a smug boss right in the face, then hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because today's story is one of the most satisfying contractor revenge tales you'll ever hear. I was working an engineering contract. You know the kind, open-ended, kind of vague, with a line like, "This contract is expected to last 12 months, but can end earlier at the employer's discretion." Now, for most of us in that world, the unspoken rule is, if you do your job well, contracts usually get extended. It's never guaranteed, but there's this quiet understanding that effort and loyalty will be rewarded. And at first, that's exactly how I thought things worked. Until the day everything changed. Our team was about 10 people, all contractors, reporting to one full-time employee. That's right. The entire backbone of this project rested on people like us. Then one afternoon, I was told to do something that made my stomach turn. At 4 p.m., I had to walk over to 3 of my co-workers and tell them, "This is your last day." Just like that. No warning. No time to prepare. Just gone. I felt sick. These weren't just co-workers. These were people who'd been pouring their energy into this project, and now I was the messenger for their downfall. And I wasn't even a manager. I was a contractor myself. Afterward, me and another contractor went to our sponsor, basically the boss running the project. We asked, why did we give him any notice? He looked at us, smiled, and said the most heartless thing I'd ever heard. "That's why we hire contractors, so we can cut them loose whenever we want." Do you know how cold that feels? To look into someone's eyes and hear that your job, your livelihood, is disposable. That you are disposable. My blood boiled. Now here's where it gets good. One of my fellow contractors, let's call him Alex, was sharp. Like, the guy could solve problems no one else could. He quietly started interviewing elsewhere, and sure enough, landed a much better job. He didn't tell anyone except me. And here's the beautiful part. He decided that if our sponsor thought we were disposable, then he wouldn't bother with a polite 2 weeks' notice. Nope. He was going to show the sponsor exactly what it feels like when someone really walks out without warning. Alex worked business as usual. He handled critical projects, solved technical puzzles, built systems, all stuff that no one else fully understood. Then, on his last day, 5 p.m. sharp, he stood up, calm, collected, walked straight to the sponsor's desk. In his hand, his laptop, mouse, and docking station. He set them down gently, looked the sponsor in the eye, and said brightly, "Hey, thanks for everything. This is my last day." The sponsor froze. "Wait, you're leaving?" Alex just smiled. "Yes, thanks," and walked out. No warning, no handoff, no explaining his half-done work. Just gone. To top it off, he had queued up a formal resignation email. Hit send right as he walked out the door. And here's where karma did its work. The sponsor scrambled. Phones ringing. Managers panicking. Everyone trying to figure out Alex's unfinished projects. But the truth was, no one knew his systems like he did. It took them over a month of chaos, delays, and wasted money, just to get back on track. And you know what? If that sponsor hadn't been so smug, so proud about treating us as disposable, Alex would have given a proper notice. He would have helped transition. The project wouldn't have suffered. The sponsor had created his own disaster. There's a special kind of satisfaction in poetic justice. The sponsor bragged about firing people with no notice and then got blindsided when one of his best people did the exact same thing. I can still see his stunned face, the disbelief, the sudden realization that he wasn't in control anymore, that his arrogance had cost him dearly. For Alex, walking out with his head held high was the ultimate payback. What did I learn? That respect in the workplace is everything. You can push people only so far before they remind you of their worth. When you treat employees like they're disposable, don't be surprised when they treat you the same way. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. Have you ever seen a boss get what they deserve? I'd love to hear your revenge stories. And of course, make sure you subscribe for more satisfying tales of justice served.